Hello, everyone, and welcome to Limitless Gaming esports coverage of Limitless Formula Racing, the Thursday Formula 4 edition. I am Kem, usually your Tuesday Limitless 2 commentator, but I am here filling in for this Thursday Formula 4 race. If you have not subscribed to the channel as yet, please do that, as it will help us out quite a bit. And also, if you did not check out the race that took place on Tuesday, I don't know why this is slipping my mind, because it was just 2 days ago, but that race was at Hungary, yes. So if you have not checked out the race that took place at Hungary, go and check it out. For a race at Hungary, it was very entertaining. Quite a lot of drama that took place, especially near the end of the race. So make sure you go and check out that race that took place from Tuesday. And also, if you would be so kind as to like that video as well, that would be great. So we are here for round 3, taking place at Spain, and it is the full qualifying format for today. So we'll just wait and see which car of the 5 teams will be first out on track. And I see a Jordan. That would be Lyra Patch. I'm pretty sure Lyra Patch was the first one out on circuit for the Tuesday race where he was a reserve. So Lyra Patch always seems to like to get out quite early in these qualifying sessions, as he runs a little wide into turn 1, but able to get back onto the circuit. Behind Lyra Patch will be a Braun driver. That is Baby, who is reserving for the Braun team today. So I'll run on board with Lyra Patch and see how he fares, as he will be the first one on a flying lap. So just to make reference to the practice session, there were, I believe, six or seven drivers that were in the practice session today, and it was actually Zayek of the Braun team who was at the top of the charts with the fastest lap time set. So this will be interesting to see. Will Zayek be able to reproduce his efforts from practice in the real qualifying session here, or qualifying sessions, as we have all 3 sessions of Q1, 2, and 3. So we are on board with Lyra Patch of the Jordan team, reserving for the Jordan team today. We'll see how he gets on with his lap. So on board with Lyra Patch at this moment. Let us see. He's getting to a bit of a difficult turn on this Spain circuit, but took that relatively well. So going pretty well for Lyra Patch so far. Coming into this hairpin turn, runs a little bit wide. It may cost him a couple of tenths, and then here are another 2 tricky turns where the curbs can catch you out easily and you will be spun. Luckily, he was able to maneuver that quite well, and this is a pretty tidy lap by Lyra Patch. So let us see, as it is put down to the start-finish line. It is a 1:19.572 for Lyra Patch. There is another Jordan behind him. That would be the Unsainted. That's a 1:20.280. King's Home now at the top of the charts with a 1:18.017. There's another teammate of King's Home. Shug's Life comes to the line, setting a 1:19.217. We will see as Boosted of the Jordan team on a outlap now, starting a lap. Baby has invalidated. Big Weir will be next to line, but that is not a representative time, so might be going for another lap is big, whereas we have Lucas Paul coming to the line, and it is provisional, not provisional pole because it's a long quali, so first place now for Lucas Paul with a 1:17.444, and then Shock Be Like goes just under a tenth faster than than Lucas Paul, sorry, to go up into first, and then Prior Thib sets a 1:17.688, and there we have Zayek of the Braun team with a 1:16.832. I did mention that he was fastest in the practice session, and replicating his efforts from practice at this point, there was King's Home, who just crossed the start finish and goes up into third. There is a Bentley that's coming to the line. That is King Benny, but has invalidated. So there's now a Jordan that's coming to the line. That's boosted, has invalidated. There's a Braun that was behind him. I'm not sure who that was. So Lucas Paul should be coming in on an in lap. CDMJW of the Ford team will be the last driver of the Ford team to put a time up on the board, and not too bad. Sixth place for CDMJW with a 1:17.929. So 4 Ford drivers in the top 6 at the moment. This is quite impressive by the Ford team. So we have Lyra Patch, who is heading into the pit. Shugvite is actually going faster. I think did improve, but stays in 7th place. We'll now jump on board. Groenfeld is on an out lap, just about to start his flying lap. So who will be next to come across the line on a flying lap? Might be Groenfeld. No, it's actually Prior Thib is on another lap on the same set of soft tires that he set his first time with, so we'll ride on board with Prior Thib and see how it is that he does. Currently going almost 4/10 faster than the first lap that he set. Riding on board with Prior Thib coming to the line, and does improve just under 2/10 faster, but does stay in 5th place. That was a 1:17.505 by Prior Thib. We have King Benny of the Bentley team, who I believe has invalidated. I'm not sure if he's on an in-lap or not. Now on board with Groenfeld, has not set a lap time as yet. Jumps to 6th with a 1:17.712 for the Braun driver of Groenfeld. Now on board with Boosted. First lap time set, and it's a 1:21.497. Jumps to 13th. I believe that was Baby. Yep, just crossed the line, setting a 1:17.516 to jump to 6th position. So just waiting for these yellow flags in Sector 3 to go away, as there is a car that's going very... Oh no, that's Sugar Life that's heading into the pits. So I'd be keen to see... Yep, so we have just over 9 minutes left in Q1. Let us see who is coming to the line. I see a Ford driver, that's Prior Thib, going slowly. We have Big Weir, who is... I thought he was going 1.5 tenths slower than his fastest time. I'm not sure if that is accurate, but we'll ride on board with him. and see what it is that he can do. And I do remember Big Weir did say, as he invalidates, unfortunately. I'm wondering if he's going to go on a second run, but it was Big Weir at the end of the Tuesday Limitless 2 broadcast that did say, oh, as Boosted is out, as well as Flea. So I don't believe Flea is on track, so that's kind of interesting, but both Boosted and Flea are now out of this session as Lara Patch is into the pits. Lucas Paul looks like he is currently on a lap, currently sitting in 4th place. Let's see where the Ford driver of Lucas Paul goes. Jumps to 2nd with a 1:17.333. So the track is quite quiet right now. Only 5 cars that are on the circuit. So yeah, as I was saying about Big Weir, he did say that he was, I believe it may have been in potential jest, but he did indicate that he was going to be winning this race today. So high expectations I have for you, Big Weir. High expectations. Hopefully get a representative quali lap time down soon. We have H. Bosworth, who is coming to the line, goes 8th with a 1:17.799 for the Bentley driver. The Unsainted is currently on a lap. I believe I saw just close to 3/10 faster at this point. The Unsainted 5/10 faster than his fastest lap, but stays in 13th. There's a Bentley driver who is coming to the line. That was an out lap by King Benny, so currently on a flying lap is King Benny. Lucas Paul is into the pits. Gennady, currently on an out lap, has not set a lap time as yet. And his teammate, H. Bosworth, currently behind him. Looks like he's going quite fast. Yeah, so this is a second flying lap for H. Bosworth of the Bentley team. So we'll ride on board with him and see how it is that he fares. See if he can jump any positions, as he is currently in 8th place. Coming up to the final turn of this circuit, as King Benny has retired. I believe King Benny has crashed out. And I do believe H. Bosworth did jump up 1 position to go up into 7th with a 1:17.518. And Sainted has invalidated his teammate behind him, Lyra Patch, currently on an out lap. Big Weir is on some quite old tires. I wonder if he's going to be diving into the pits. Yes, he is. Lyle Patch is around just before going into the pit lane. So we'll ride on board with Gennady. Has not set a lap time as yet. We'll see what the Bentley driver can do. Foot down forward, Gennady, and jumps to 9th with a 1:17.788. Well done by him. H. Bosworth, his teammate, into the pit. So once again, the track is quiet with only 3 cars on track, and I don't believe any of them are currently on a flying lap. Only Groenfeld is on an out lap. So the track is going to be getting busy quite soon, as we have 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in Q1, and currently in the danger zone is Big Weir, Flea, who is actually out for this session, and James. And I don't think James has actually been out on track as yet, so potentially looking for one One flying lap on one set of tires to get himself through to Q2. So riding on board with Gennady, this is not going to be a representative time, and yep, diving into the pits is Gennady. CDMJW is on an outlap, so is Big Weir. I think still on those, still on an old set of tires. Will he be able to make it through into Q2? We will see relatively soon. Rodenfeld not on a flying lap. Does look as if Lyra Patch is on a flying lap. As soon as he gets to the end of Sector 2, we'll see how he is doing. Just approximately 2/10 slower than his best time that he has set of a 1:19.572. So we'll see how Lyra Patch does fare. And actually, it's interesting. Lyra Patch has quite a bit of fuel on board. So goes 5/10 slower. It's a lot of fuel that is on Lyra Patch or in Lyra Patch's car right now. So that's going to be a bit of a hindrance for the Jordan reserve driver. We have Groenfeld coming to the line. Maybe on a flying lap. Right now we have the Unsainted on an outlap. As soon as he crosses the start finish, that is a flying lap for him. James, there we go, James. Now on track. And yep, currently on an outlap. So we'll keep an eye on how James fares. CDMJW now coming to the line for the Ford team, jumps to 5th with a 1:17.465. We have, I believe, yep, that was Big Weir who just crossed the line, setting a 1:17.606 on some quite old soft tires. So well done by the Force India driver of Big Weir. Looks like not entirely safe, but that time does seem like it should do the job, as there will only be 3 drivers who will not be making it into Q2. On board with Groenfeld now, almost 5/10 faster than his fastest time. So he's going to be jumping quite a ways. Jumps to 2nd with a 1:17.109. Groenfeld. Well done by him. The Unsainted now coming to the line. Goes 2/10 faster. I believe jumped 1 position to go up into 13th. And then I think pipped by James with a 1:17.186. Only 1 lap for James and jumps to P3. Looks like he'll be getting himself into Q2. We have 27 seconds left in this session. So, yep. It's only, Big Weir should be safe. It's going to be interesting. Will Lyra Patch be able to get himself out of the danger zone? That was Kingsholm just starting a flying lap. And, yep, this is Lyra Patch coming to the final turn of the circuit. Will it be enough of an improvement for Lyra Patch? It will not. So it is Lyra Patch, Boosted, and Flea who do not advance to the second round of qualifying. Unfortunately for those drivers, 2 Jordan drivers and 1 Force India driver not making it into Q2. As it is right now, it is Zayek of the Braun team, the only one in the 1:16, setting a 1:16.832 in Q1, going fastest, followed by his teammate Groenfeld with a 117.109, and then James of the Bentley team. So I think 117.186, that is the top 3 for this first qualifying session. Yep, so I will go through all of the times that were set in Q1. It is Zayek in first with a 116.832. Gronfelt, 117.109. Second, James, 117.186 in third. Lucas Paul is next in fourth. Shockby Like in fifth. Kingsholm in sixth. Priorthib in seventh. Baby in eighth. H. Bosworth in ninth. Big Weir in 10th. Janati 11th. Shugs Life 12th. The Unsainted in 13th. CDM JW in 14th. And King Benny in 15th, and it is Lyra Patch, Boosted, and Flea who do not make it into Q2. And I have just got word that it is a completely dry weekend as well, so no rain. Sounds quite good. So we are now into the second qualifying session. Let us see. As I get all the settings prepared, let us see who will be the first one out on track. It is a Force India driver. It is Big Weir, and he is on, maybe not Big Weir. Has 2 cars cut in front of him, 1 Braun and 1 Ford. So who would that be? Shockby Like. It's a lot of runners on the medium compound tires, it seems. So it's going to be quite interesting, as we have Zayek, who went fastest in the first qualifying session, has now overtaken. And Priorthib is out. Yeah, I was just going through all of the drivers, and all of a sudden I just saw someone made a mess, and that would be the Ford driver of Priorthib. He is out of Q2. Oh, so this is interesting. So it's only the top 13 that make it into Q2 as there, so it takes out 5 drivers. That is interesting. I didn't realize that it would do it like that. So riding on board with Kingsholm will be the first to set a time, albeit as long as he does not invalidate on this run. So we'll ride on board with him and see how it is that he does. So I'm interested to see. I would assume that it would be the top 10 that go into the next session, albeit it could be the top 8, so this will be interesting to see. This is my first run doing commentary on a full qualifying session, so I'll be interested to see what it is that happens. But riding on board with Kingsholm, and it's a spin, and Kingsholm is out! The curb of death has caught Kingsholm out, and apparently has also caught another Ford driver out as well. Would be Shockby Like. So we'll see. It's gonna be Zayek as another curb of death almost catches another driver out, but luckily Zayek is able to keep it on track. Let us see how it is a Braun driver of Zayek does. Shockby Like is out. I believe Shockby Like has crashed out. So that is Zayek with a 117.534 on the medium compound tires, going into first place. We have James of the Bentley team going second with a 1:18.391. Now Shug's Life, who just crossed the line, setting a 1:18.948. Big Weir next jumps to third with now fourth with a 1:18.425. It was Lucas Paul who crossed the line after him of the 4 team with a 1:18.236. Jumps to second. The Unsainted sets a 1:21.942 for his first qualifying lap. Janati still on an out lap, and a teammate behind him, that would be H. Bosworth, currently on a flying lap. Let us see as he comes to the start-finish line, jumps to second with a 1:17.677. Well done by H. Bosworth. Now riding on board with Groenfeld, I believe backing out of this run, so it will probably be, that may have been an out lap for Groenfeld, so this should be a flying lap that he is currently on. Riding on board with Shug's Life, this may be a second run on these medium tires. Yep, it is. So let us see if the Force India driver can improve, and he does. Jumps to fourth with a 1:18.350. We have James coming to the line, not on a representative time, maybe on the flying lap as it is now. The Unsainted is going faster, jumps to, stays in seventh, improves by 2 8/10 seconds, but does stay in seventh. Now we have Janati coming to the line, jumps to seventh with a 1:18.434 on the medium compound tire. H. Bosworth is into the pits. I believe, yeah, Groenfeld is on a flying lap. So let's see how the Braun driver fares. This looks like it's going to be a pretty good time. Yep, jumps to third with a 1:17.750. Purple sector 3 for Groenfeld. Well done by him. Now his teammate, Baby, he just gets out of the way for James, so must have backed out of that run. Riding on board with James, let us see what the Bentley driver can do, and jumps to fourth with a 1:17.826. Baby does cross the line, not a representative time, so maybe on another flyer as it is right now. Janati is on a lap, but going somewhat slowly. Groenfeld also going slow. Zayek is on an out lap. So it looks like, I believe, yeah, Baby would be the one who is on a flying lap of all of the drivers, and there are only 4 drivers currently on the circuit. So we'll ride on board with Baby, who is reserving 4, and it is a spin. It seems like every time I go on board with someone at that particular turn, they spin out. First it was King's Home, now it is Baby. So it'll be interesting. Will he stay out on these tires as we have yellow flags in Sector 3, as I was trying to take a look at how much time was left in Q2. It is 7.5 minutes. Will Baby stay out on those medium tires, or will he ditch them and go for the soft tires? That is James of the Bentley team heading into the pits. Only 2 cars on track right now, so relatively quiet. I do want to see what it is that Baby is going to do, so I'll ride on board with him and see. Yep, and it looks like it's going to be another flying lap for the Braun reserve of Baby. So let us see, as Groenfeld has retired, it looks like he believes that that time of a 1:17.750 will, and Baby has invalidated. So Baby is struggling. at this point does have enough fuel to be able to do another run, but how many laps is he willing to do on these tires to be able to make it into Q3 and to try and start the race on these set of medium tires? It's interesting to see that Zayek, currently in first with a 1:17.534. On the medium compound tires, you only get one set in qualifying, so yep, so he's headed back into the pits. I guess I'm assuming that would have been his outlap. I do feel as if he set that 1:17.534 quite a while ago, but I could potentially be wrong. So I believe is Baby into the pits. Yep, so it looks like Baby's going to be going onto the soft tires. Only 2 cars on track right now. It is one Force India, that would be Shug's Life, and then a Jordan, which would be the Unsainted 13. So we're right on board with Shug's Life, as he will be on a flying lap. We have 5 minutes left in this Q2 session. Shug's Life currently in 6th place. Let us see how the Force India driver gets on with this flying lap. Took turn 2 quite well. And able to ride that curb and not spin out. Currently 1.2 tenths faster is Shug's Life. Stays away from that curb of death. Might be the smart move, as we have yellow flag sector 1. It's just a Braun driver potentially going slightly slow. So Shug's Life currently almost 4 tenths faster than his best time. It's looking like he's going to slot himself maybe in between Gronfeld and James for 4th. Let us see how Shug's Life fares, and jumps 1 position, jumps Lucas Paul to go into 5th with a 1:17.932. We have Zayek, who is currently on an outlap on the medium tires again. I'm quite frankly questioning why so many laps are being done on those medium tires by Zayek. Now on board with the Unsainted, the only remaining Jordan driver, and a bit of a mistake, and that is going to cost him quite a bit of time. Coming to the line, it is not an improvement. I'm not sure if he will back out. There's 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in this qualifying session. Shug's Life is currently on a slow lap. We have Big Weir, who is on an outlap, currently sitting in 7th place. So Shug's Life diving into the pits, and I don't believe he will have enough time to set another lap. I think he may be safe though with that, most likely safe with that time that he has put currently in 5th place. Big Weir wants to start on the soft tires, so he is now commencing his flying lap. We have 1 minute and 50 seconds left in this Q2 session. Let me just see if anyone is on the flying lap. So yep, Zayek, but on a slow lap. The Unsainted has invalidated. So yep, it is Big Weir. It doesn't look like anybody else is going to be setting time. Zayak may try and improve upon his time. Shug's Life has retired, believes he is safe in that 5th place. H. Bosworth. Oh. What happened? Zayak is out. Zayak has crashed out and is now out of the top 10. So that is quite interesting. So let us see what Big Weird does. The only car that is on track. Where does Big Weird slot himself? That is first in this second qualifying session, a 1:17.035 for Big Weird. That is quite the time. 6/10 clear of the next driver. I guess 5/10 clear if we are considering that it was Zayak who was at the top of the table. So as I am not sure how many, if it is going to be the top 10 or the top 8 who will be going into Q3, I'm not going to say who is out in Q2, but these are the final times. So Shock Be Like, King's Home, and Prior Thib, all three of them crashed out in this Q2 session, did not set a time. Zayak, who was at the top of the table in first just before Big Weird set that 1:17.035, crashed out, it looked, around turn 1. I don't know how this is going to affect his position because he has dropped all the way down to 10th. So as Big Weird nurses those tires that he will be starting the race on, taking, I don't know if that's the MotoGP line or MotoGP track. So, yep, diving into the pits is Big Weird, number 1 in this Q2 session. All right, so I will just go through the order for this second qualifying session. It is Big Weird with a 1:17.035. First place for him, H. Bosworth with a 1:17.677. In second, Gronfeld in third with a 1:17.750. It is James in fourth, Shug's Life in fifth, Lucas Paul in sixth, Janati in seventh, The Unsainted in eighth, and Baby in 9th, Zayak in 10th, 11th, Shock Be Like, King's Home, and Prior Thib, 12th and 13th respectively. And as I can see there, Zayak, his name is blacked out. So it doesn't look like he's going to be making it into Q3. That would be quite a circumstance. But we'll wait and see as we're just getting set for Q3. Is he in? He's not. So Zayak crashing out in Q2, and if I have to be quite honest, did not even need to be on track. Has crashed out and now not able to participate in this final qualifying session. That is quite unfortunate for the Braun driver. So we are now in this Q3 session. It is the Unsainted who is leading the way, the only Jordan driver who made it into both Q2 and Q3. So good job by the Unsainted. And he will be the first on a flying lap. Sorry, I'm just in the Discord. Yeah, Zayak, you bottled it, man. I don't understand what it is that you're doing. Oh, man. Yeah, trying to flex. Well, so now on board with the Unsainted will be the first, or is the first, on a flying lap. Let us see how the Jordan driver fares. So going relatively well is the Unsainted. Has not invalidated this lap, so this will be a time put up on the board for the Unsainted, and we will see what it is. It is a 119.190 for the Unsainted. Next across the line will be Lucas Paul. Wow, rode that curb quite a bit, and a 116.991 for Lucas Paul. Baby behind him goes second with a 117.262. Shug's Life in fourth with a 119.289. H. Bosworth is currently on an outlap. Big Weir will be the next across the line. Let us see what it is that the Force India driver can do. Goes to third with a 117.800. Next across the line is James. Jumps to second with a 117.259. Well done by the Bentley driver of James. Next across the line will be Groenfeld of the Braun team, but this is not going to be a representative time. So I will see who will be next. So Baby looks like he's on the in-lap. It did say it was a purple sector one for H. Bosworth. I am not sure if that is entirely true. Was riding on board with H. Bosworth, went on that curb of death and survived. So the first of the onboards going through that section, as Shug's Life has crashed out. Not sure what happened with Shug's Life, but currently in sixth, and would be hoping that he does not drop any further, albeit the likelihood is quite high that that will be happening. DRS wide open for H. Bosworth, jumps to second with a 117.233. Well done by him. Big Weir is into the pits. Baby looks like he's setting another lap on the same tires that he was on for that first lap. We have a lot of drivers into the pits. Lucas Paul is another one. Yep, does look like Groenfeld is, on another lap, so this will be lap number 2 on these tires. We have 6 minutes and 36 seconds left in this Q3 session. Groenfeld jumps to provisional pole with a 116.894. Well done by Groenfeld. Giannotti was behind him, jumps to 6th with a 117.700. So it does seem like Baby is going a little bit faster now, just 5 thousandths slower than his fastest time, and has invalidated, unfortunately. So we'll see if he'll head into the pits to put on another set of soft tires. Yep, so it's into the pits for Baby. I do not believe Gennady is on a flying lap. Nope, he is not. Looks like it is an in-lap for himself, as well as Groenfeld. So it seems like the track is going to be a bit quiet for the next maybe 2 minutes, and then the 8 remaining drivers will be filing out onto the track to try and put forth their best effort to try and take that pole position, as we actually have the Unsainted who's coming out on a lap. Or an out lap, sorry. And it does look like he is fueled for 2 runs as well, so looks like he is ready in case he makes any potential errors to be able to do 2 flying laps. We have 4 minutes and 28 seconds left in this 3rd qualifying session. It is Groenfeld of the Braun team at the top. Currently provisional pole, Lucas Paul in 2nd of the Ford team, and H. Bosworth rounds out the top 3 so far. And as it is right now, if you get pole position, you get 4 points. So as it is right now, Groenfeld would be putting 4 points to his Drivers' Championship point tally. So running on board with the Unsainted, I think he may have started his ERS hot lap mode slightly late, because he had crossed the start-finish line and those red lights were still blinking. So, and yep, currently almost 4/10 slower than his best time. So we'll see. I wonder if it would be worth it to potentially back out of this lap and charge the battery and go for another lap. And yep, invalidates there. So no choice at this point, we'll have to back out and look to go on another flying lap. So we have Big Weir, who is a few turns away from the start-finish line to start a flying lap. Well, as we have James and Baby, who are on out laps as well. Or Baby may have invalidated, actually, so maybe another run for the Braun reserve driver. So let us see. Big Weir is currently on the flying lap, so we'll ride on board with him and see how it is that he fares. Bit of an error made by the Force India driver, Big Weir, so he is backing out of that lap. Going to charge the battery and look to go on another flying lap. So let us see. Yep, so Baby is coming to the line, going to be going on another flyer. Is there anyone on a flyer as it is? Lucas Paul, out lap. James is currently on a flying lap, so we'll ride on board with the Bentley driver and see how it is that he fares. Took both of those curves quite well. Taking all of these curves quite well is James. currently a second and a half faster on the lap time that he has set on the left side there. So let us see how it is that James fares. Looks like he will potentially jump his teammate H. Bosworth. Will he be able to jump Lucas Paul or Grunfeld as well? No, only able to jump his teammate, setting a 1:17.098. Now in third position. Grunfeld is just coming to the line to go on another flying lap. We have Baby, who is coming to the line and does not go faster. I'm wondering if he's going to be on another push lap. So riding on board with Big Weir as the qualifying session is now complete. Anyone who does cross the start-finish line, this will be the time that will represent you. It is Big Weir. Provisional pole with a 1:16.619. Backing up the words from Tuesday, we have H. Bosworth jumping to fourth with a 1:17.015. Lucas Paul did go faster but does stay in second. Let's see who is next. James. Just heading into the final couple of turns. Let us see what it is that the Bentley driver can do. Is a 1:17.094, stays in fifth. Gennady backed out of his lap into the pit. Grunfeld going faster, looking to get that pole position off of Big Weir, not able to. Jumps to second place, and we have Baby, the last across the line, stays in sixth. And this is the top 9 positions in this third qualifying session. It is Big Weir setting a 1:16.619 to take pole position and 4 points for himself as well. Well done by the Force India driver of Big Weir. So I'll just go through the standings for this third qualifying session. It is Big Weir taking pole position, Grunfeld in second, Lucas Paul in third, H. Bosworth in fourth, James in fifth, Baby in sixth, Gennady in seventh, The Unsainted in eighth, and Shug's Life, who I am not sure what it is that happened with him, but was out relatively early in this third qualifying session. Will be starting 9th for this race around Spain. So we are just waiting for the cars to form up for the formation lap. So for anyone who is tuning into this broadcast, so is 4 points for pole position, and that would be Big Weir of Force India, who has taken those 4 points. The top 15 for the race score points as Prior Thib and King Benny have been disqualified as well. Yeah, Prior Thib and King Benny have been disqualified from this formation lap. Their tires are not going to be in good shape for the start of this race. So it's a top 15 who score points for the race, and anyone can get the fastest lap of all of these runners. So just going through the starting order for this race, we have Big Weir in first, Groenfeld of the Braun team in second, Lucas Paul of the Ford team in third. We have H. Bosworth of the Bentley team fourth, James of the Bentley team in fifth, Baby in sixth, Gennady in seventh, The Unsainted in eighth, Shug's Life in ninth, Zayek in 10th, Shock Be Like in 11th, King's Home in 12th, Pyrothib in 13th, CDM JW in 14th, King Benny in 15th, Lara Patch in 16th, Boosted in 17th, and Flea will be starting at the back of the grid in 18th. And it's interesting. So everyone is on the medium tires except for Big Weir and Shug's Life, who are on the softs. And then you have King Benny, who is on the hards. And then you have King Benny, who disqualified from this formation lap, is on the hards. This is going to be an interesting start. He's going to have to be very careful with his getaway off the line. So as we wait for Flea to get into starting position, starting grid position. So we are waiting for the lights. 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights. And Flea has jump started. Unfortunate for him. King's Home already making up 2 positions. Make that 5 positions. King's Home has done very well at the beginning of this race. We have a driver wide. That's H. Bosworth going wide. And let's see, as we have yellow flag sector 1, we have a spinner. That is the Unsainted. So, oh, and Groenfeld is around as well as his teammate, Baby. And they both will have most likely suffered damage. Both going into the wall. That is unfortunate for both Braun drivers. Flea makes his way past Baby to go up into 13th. Now looking to make his way past both CDM, JW, and Groenfeld. And that is easy for Flea going up into 11th place. So making up 7 positions from the beginning of this race, but unfortunately going to have to go into the pits within the next 3 laps to serve that drive-through penalty. So Lara Patch has made his way past Groenfeld, as well as Big Weir, who is started in first and at the front, setting a 1:23.052 for the fastest lap. It is, Flea, Groenfeld, Pyrothib, and Baby into the pits. So riding on board, actually I'll go up to Shafi, like looking to make his way up to Shug's Life. Now we have King Benny and CDMJW going almost side to side. I believe they were side by side through that turn. King Benny doing quite well on these hard compound tires so far, up 3 places into 12th. Now on board with Shockby Life. Will he make a move on Shug's Life? No. But it looks like Zayek and King's Home may have been battling. I don't believe any positions did change though. As we have yellow flags, and looks like it's another Jordan driver. Looks like it's Lyra Patch. Nope, the Unsainted is out. And we have a VSC. So Lyra Patch is around, and I am not sure which Jordan driver hit which. And we now have full safety car conditions, so it is a good thing that Flea went into the pits on that lap. So Lyra Patch is going to be going into the pits. And does he have... No, maybe not going into the pits is Lyra Patch. So yeah, I guess doesn't have any damage. So we are currently under safety car conditions. We are on lap 3 of 33. Gronfeld is into the pits. That is a wing change for him. I don't know if that is a second wing change for him, as I believe he was one of the ones that was caught out on lap 1. I believe it was himself as well as Baby. So let us see. Will Big Weir go into the pits? No, he will not. And I believe all of the medium drivers will be staying out. Let's see. Shug's Life. Shug's Life dives into the pits. Now let us see what it is that the Force India driver will be doing. I'm wondering if it will be a hard compound tires for Shug's Life. Nope, it is the mediums. So it's a medium compound tires for Shug's Life. Comes back out into 12th place. His teammate Flea right behind him in 13th. And Baby is into the pits, as Lyra Patch has retired. So Baby's into the pits, puts on the medium compound tires, will be coming out into 15th. I'm not sure what happened with Lyra Patch, as it looks like Boosted has left the session. So because we are under safety car conditions, I will try and get him back in. So actually, unfortunately, I cannot send Boosted an invite, so hopefully he's able to make his way back into the session without any problems. As Zayak is out! What has happened to him? And looks like Flea's front wing is gone as well. That is weird. How would that have happened? So Zayak is now out of this race. We have 15 drivers remaining in this race. Let me see if I can get any news on what it is that happened with either Lyra Patch, the Unsainted, or Zayak. Yeah, so not too sure what it is that happened with Zayak there. That looked like quite an unusual place to be crashing out, and it didn't look like anything happened. So we're currently on lap 5. The safety car is coming in this lap. So as Big Weir is leading this field of drivers, we'll see what kind of getaway he is able to get with Lucas Paul just behind him. And yep, so Big Weir is away and we are back underway as Big Weir has gotten quite a good jump and Flea is into the pits. Baby is out. Retired from the session. Is that in the pit? No, I think Baby has crashed out. So Shock Be Like has made his way past Boosted. Boosted is not back into the session as yet. So now riding on board with King Benny, and he is quite close to CDMJW, looking for the switch to the inside. What a move by King Benny, and also on the hard tires as well. That was quite impressive. Well done by King Benny. We'll run on board with King Benny. He'll be able to make his way past Boosted relatively soon. And also Shug's Life is getting quite close to Prior Fib as well. We will see if any moves are made anytime soon. So out in the lead is Big Weir, has a 1.4 second gap to Lucas Paul behind him as King Benny has made his way past Boosted, as it's said on the left side of the screen. And now CDMJW is making his way past Boosted, as well as, Boosted's AI car being somewhat aggressive, holding on to that 9th place position. As we have yellow flag sector 2, and it's Shock Be Like who is around. So that's unfortunate for the Ford driver of Shock Be Like. We'll see if CDMJW is able to make his way past Boosted. Yes, he is, and goes up into 8th place. Prior Fib also made his way past Boosted to go up into 9th. Next should be very soon for Shug's Life to make his way past Boosted, but does not want to go into the back of Boosted, breaking it quite late behind the Jordan driver, and the only Jordan driver remaining in this race. So yep, Shug's Life using that battery, trying to get past Boosted late on the brakes, and once again Boosted's AI car is quite aggressive. And yep, Shug's Life has to be careful trying to make his way past. This is actually quite incredible. So yep, hopefully Shug's Life can make his way up the inside, and yep, able to do that. Boosted still staying on the outside, but Shug's Life able to make that move. And next it will be Groenfeld will try and make his way past Boosted. DRS wide open, as Boosted is now trying to make a move on Shug's Life, but not able to make it happen. This Boosted is doing quite well at the moment. Putting up quite a battle for some of these drivers. So yep, it is DRS4. Groenfeld will be using that battery to get past Boosted. Let us see if the Braun driver is able to. And yep, and Prior Fib is out. And there he is on the side of the road there, and we have another safety car. So we are on lap 9, and we have another safety car. This is going to play into Big Weir's hands quite well. Going to be able to make a very cheap pit stop. It's going to be interesting to see which of the runners behind him will make a stop, as all 5 drivers behind him are on the medium compound tires, the same mediums that they started the race on. It'll be interesting to see if King Benny will stay out on those hard tires. Shockey Like is into the pits, goes onto the soft tires, and he should be able to make his way up to the back of the field. So Big Weir into the pits, Lucas Paul into the pits, James into the pits, H. Bosworth stays out, and King's Home stays out as well. Gennady into the pits, King Benny on the hards does stay out. CDMJW on the mediums stays out. Shug's Life 4-lap old mediums, he stays out. Makes sense for him to do that. Will he be able to get past Big Weir? Yes, he does. Groenfeld on the hards as well goes past Big Weir. Boosted up into 7th place as well. So Big Weir, who is in the lead of this race, comes out in 8th place. Lucas Paul, who pitted behind him, goes onto the hard tires, comes out in 9th. We have James in 10th, Gennady in 11th, Flea, who is in 12th, and Shockey Like, who will be looking to make his way back up to the pack, is all the way down to 13th. I wonder if Shockey Like will he just made a pit stop as the safety car came out, so nope, he's staying on the soft tires and will be looking to make a charge when this safety car does come in. And I'm just going to take a little break. I'll see if I can invite Boosted back into the session again. Currently leading the field is H. Bosworth of I switched. So that would be the Bentley team. We have King's Home of the Force India team in 2nd, King Benny, H. Bosworth's teammate. In 3rd, CDMJW of the 14 in 4th, Shug's Life. In 5th, Groenfeld. In 6th, we have Boosted, who is in 7th. And I did send him another invite. We'll see if he's able to get back into the session. Big Weir currently in 8th place. Lucas Paul in 9th. We have James, who is in 10th. Gennady in 11th. Flea, who is in 12th. And Shockey Like, who is looking to make his way back up to the pack, currently in 13th place. So the safety car is in, and it will be H. Bosworth who will be leading the pack away. Let's see what type of getaway he can King's Home right behind him, and ooh, and King's Home a bit too aggressive on the throttle, and now King Benny will be looking to make a move on King's Home. Yep, King's Home able to leave some space, and it is King Benny up into second place. King's Home has now dropped to third. Ooh, Lucas Paul and Boosted. Once again, that AI car of Boosted causing a bit of havoc, driving quite aggressively. Oh, and King's Home and King Benny are fighting it out. This is going back. A little bit of a reminder from what happened on Tuesday with the battling involving King's Home. Ooh, and I actually think James was able to make his way past Boosted, past Lucas Paul, and now made his way past Boosted as Lucas Paul is around. So Shock Be Light got himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings, and he is currently quite close to Gennady. So Lee is into the pits. Now on board with Groenfeld just behind the Force India driver of Shug's Life. Gennady and Boosted going side by side. Gennady doing a good job, able to make his way past Boosted's AI car, and Shock Be Like also making his way past Boosted to go up into 10th. So all of the remaining drivers in this race will be scoring points. So your best bet is to keep it as clean as possible and make sure that you do finish this race, as you will be scoring points. As you have yellow flag sector 3, is that Shock Be Like? Yep, Shock Be Like is around. I believe that, I don't know if that's the second time that I'm seeing him around at that particular place. I remember seeing a Ford driver that was around at that particular spot on the track, I believe earlier in this race. So I'm now on board with Big Weir just behind the Ford driver of CDMJW. DRS has now been enabled. It is Big Weir who is making his way past CDMJW up into 4th place. Now will be on the charge behind his teammate King's Home, and it'll be interesting when Big Weir does make his way up to King's Home. I'm assuming that King's Home should let him through, as Big Weir is on 10 lap fresher tires than King's Home. So we'll see what it is that happens between both Force India drivers. So as it is right now, H. Bosworth leading this race for the Bentley team. His teammate King Benny in second. King's Home of the Force India team in third. Big Weir, his teammate, in fourth. CDMJW of the Ford team in fifth. Shug's Life in sixth. Groenfeld of the Braun team, the only Braun driver remaining, as there's a car that's around. It's King Benny. King Benny has made an error and has dropped from second to sixth place, and he is on some quite old, as Shug's Life gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warning. So yep, it's going to be Big Weir who will be let pass by King's Home up into second. He will be on the charge to try and make his way up. Now we have yellow flag sector 2 and 3, that would be Prix. So Big Weir is going to try and make his way up to H. Bosworth, and it looks like he is getting that job done, cutting 10th out of the gap that he has to H. Bosworth. Now riding on board with CDMJW, getting quite close to King's Home. King's Home will not have the DRS and does not take that turn particularly well. We'll see CDMJW and King's Home going side by side. But no, King's Home is able to stay in third place. It'll be interesting to see, will King's Home dive into the pits, as looks like he's starting to struggle a little bit on those 14-lap old hard tires. Nope, he is staying out as Groenfeld is around. So H. Bosworth has pit. CDMJW has made his way past King's Home to go up into second. King Benny has made his way past Shug's Life to go up into fourth. Now he will be on the charge to try and get up to the back of King's Home. Big Weir has reclaimed first position in this race, started in first, back up to that first place position on lap 16. We have 17 and a half laps remaining in this race. And this is interesting. Yep, so King's Home did get DRS off of CDMJW to be able to defend that third place position from King Benny. Now on board with James. Wow. And King's Home is around. So King's Home is around, and that is unfortunate for the Force India driver. Riding on board with James. He looking to make his way up to the back of Shug's Life. Shug's Life will not be getting DRS to aid him. Low on the battery as well. That is fourth place for James of the Bentley team, as Groenfeld has now made his way past King's Home to go up into seventh as well. Shockby Like has made his way past H. Bosworth to go up into 10th. So it may be a little while before those hard tires come into the proper temperature window for H. Bosworth, but he has just been passed by Shockby Like, drops to 11th place. We have yellow flags in sector 2. I am not sure who that was. Oh, and someone is around, it looked like. I don't know if that was Shug's Life. Someone as I was going through had turned sideways. I'm not too sure who that was. It looked like a Force India driver. So now riding on board with H. Bosworth, looks to be faring a bit better now on those hard tires, but now we'll move up to King Benny, making his way past CDMJW to go up into second place. So Groenfeld is into the pits. H. Bosworth, whose path goes up into 9th, and Shockby Like is into the pits as well. So for Groenfeld, it is a new front wing. So I'm wondering if it was him that I saw who may have made a bit of an error. Shockby Like coming out onto the hard compound tire as well. Boosted's AI car doing well, moving up to 10th place. So we are currently on lap 18 of 33. We have yellow flags in sector 3. That would be Prix, but it looks like he's still going at speed. So now riding on board with Shockby Like, looking to make his way past. Oh, and Shockby Like is around. Looks like again as King Benny sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:19.588. Yep, so Shockby Like is around. Not doing well on that curb of death. It is Big Weir who is in the lead and backing up those words that he had stated in the commentary box from the Tuesday Limitless 2 race, claiming that he would be getting a victory in this race. Currently in first place, 2 seconds ahead of King Benny, who is just behind him in second. It's looking quite good for the Force India driver of Big Weir. So now riding on board with CDM JW. Will he be able to stay in that 1 second window? I believe, yeah, just missed out. So no DRS for the Ford driver of CDM JW. So it'll be interesting to see. I remember it was the Limitless 1 race where Big Weir, he had pitted onto a set of soft tires. Let's actually go to Gronfeldt, who will get the aid of DRS, will try and gets the fastest lap of the race as well. So Gronfeldt trying to make his way past. Boosted and boosted again. I'm telling you, that AI car boosted. Some scary moves that are happening by that AI car. But yeah, as I was saying, it was Big Weir had made a pit stop. It was around the midpoint of the Monday Limitless 1 race. Would have been CDMJW is into the pits. Would have been quite a few weeks ago, maybe even 2 months ago. Made a relatively early pit stop at the midpoint, around the midpoint of the race. And he had to carry on with those soft tires for it had to be, I believe it was at the least 13 or 14 laps. And he was able to make it all the way to the end of the race without suffering a puncture. So as Gronfeldt sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:18.783. So currently on 10 lap old medium tires. As we have yellow flags in Sector 3, it looks like it is Shakti-like who has spun again. And Big Weir will be, or no, sorry, that will not be Big Weir. That would be Flea who would be coming up to Shakti-like. So, yep, Shakti-like looks like he's letting, although he is blocking the pit lane, which is a bit dangerous. Oh, he's going into the pits. So yeah, we will see, will Big Weir be able to hang on with these tires for another 11 and a half laps? So now riding on board with Kingsholm, who is coming up to the back of his teammate Shug's Life. And he's on very old medium tires. So if I'm speaking on what it is that Big Weir did in the Monday Limitless 1 race, Kingsholm is on very old, and having trouble. It's gonna have to be very careful driving by Kingsholm. I don't know. I don't believe that. I don't think he has pit either. No, Kingsholm has not pit from the beginning of this race either. So still has to make a pit stop. Maybe holding out for a safety car at this point. Yep, and Kingsholm is now into the pits. So now riding on board with CDMJW, he is on a fresh set of soft tires, and he has made his way past H. Bosworth to go up into 7th place. So Kingsholm just coming out of the pits in 9th on a fresh set of soft tires. Will be looking to go to the end of the race on these tires. So I'm now riding on board with H. Bosworth. We'll be getting DRS from CDMJW up ahead of him. We have yellow flags in Sector 3. I don't know if that is Flea. Yep, Flea has spun it and needs to be careful. And going into the pits is Flea as well. So we are currently on lap 24 of this 33 lap race. DRS for H. Bosworth, but not able to make his way up to CDMJW. May take a few laps as CDMJW's soft tires degrade. Might be a few laps before H. Bosworth will be able to make any type of move on the forward driver of CDMJW, but will have to try or want to try and stay within DRS range of the Ford driver. And now going on board with King Benny, who's currently in 2nd place, following just behind Big Weir. And I'm wondering if... Oh, hold on a minute. King Benny has not pit yet as well. So maybe he is holding out for a safety car as well, but he's doing a pretty good job as Shug's Life has gone into the pits. King Benny is doing quite a good job on hard tires that he started the race with. He's going to be holding out or hoping for a safety car, because if he does not get a safety car, he will be dropping 2 as Kingsholm sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:18.478. If he is not able to get a safety car, he may be dropping all the way down to maybe 8th. If I had to guess, 8th or 9th place. So it's DRS wide open for King Benny. Getting closer lap by lap to the back of Big Weir. But is King Benny going to pit? And yep, he has gone into the pits. So King Benny is into the pits. Both of his teammates, actually, both James and Janati. So the Bentley team doing quite well at the moment. So Janati and James make their way past King Benny. Let's see, where does King Benny come out? Oh, I must have miscalculated that. King Benny's actually come out in 6th place. So it's a shorter pit stop than I anticipated. So now King Benny is going to be on the charge, looking at both Ford drivers who are ahead of him, and CDMJW also seems to be low on the battery as his red light is flashing. So let us see if King Benny is able to take advantage. It is DRS for the Bentley driver of King Benny, but nope, not able to make a move on CDM JW as it is. Ooh, as both Bentley drive, as we have yellow flags in sector 3, that looks like Shockby like. So both James and Janati are into the pits. King Benny has made his way past CDMJW to go up into third, and now will be on the charge to try and chase down Lucas Paul, who is just over 5 seconds ahead of the Bentley driver of King Benny. So as it is right now, it is Big Weir. He has a comfortable lead out in first, 13 seconds ahead of his closest rival, who would be Lucas Paul. We have yellow flags in sector 2. Looks like it is Shockby Like who is around. Again, not having a good time today. CDMJW gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. We are on lap 28 of 33. As King Benny has set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:17.831. So now on board with Janati, DRS is wide open, making his way up to the back of King's Home quite swiftly, but just runs out of straight and is going to have to tuck in behind the Force India driver and see if he can make a move later on. So on board with Janati, it is DRS wide open for the Bentley driver. Let us see. Runs out of straight here. Still following behind King's Home, who is ahead of him. And James, who is ahead of King's Home, is King's Home must have done relatively well through that final sector, made up about 3/10 on James, but it is now Janati with his DRS wide open. King's Home goes defensive to the inside and able to keep that 7th place position. As Shockby Like has gone into the pits, maybe putting on a fresh set of softs. Yep, he is. To try and set the fastest lap of the race where he would be able to receive a point. DRS wide open for Janati once again, but not able to pass King's Home. So now riding on board with King Benny, has made his way up and past Lucas Paul into 2nd place. So King Benny is on the charge, now looking to hunt down Big Weir, but Big Weir is doing a good job on some relatively old medium tires. don't think there will be a pit stop coming his way. He's going to probably just be looking to nurse these tires to the end of the race. We have Gronfeld, who is into the pits, onto a fresh set of soft tires. Now on board with Gennady, he is still behind King's Home. DRS wide open for Gennady, but not enough straight once again to be able to get close enough to King's Home. So we're currently on lap 31 of 33. From where it is, that big where is, we only have 2.5 laps remaining. Now on board with James, this may be team orders as he has made his way past H. Bosworth to go up into 5th. Gennady was getting quite close to King's Home, and King's Home's red light was flashing, so he is fighting for his life to be able to stay in that 7th place position. We have Flea, who has gone into the pits. Looks like he is going onto a fresh set of soft tires. So it looks like Gennady is just biding his time at the moment behind King's Home, and will be looking to strike when he deems it feasible for him. Depending on the exit that he can get out of these turns, and we have 4/10 DRS aiding him, using the battery as well. King's Home is low on the battery, and Gennady getting side by side with King's Home, but King's Home late on the brakes, able to keep that 7th place position. So this is quite the battle for 7th place. Has been going on for quite a few laps. As Flea gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. So once again, it is DRS for Gennady. As Shocky Light gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. As we have yellow flags in Sector 3. Oh, H. Bosworth is around. That might have caught both King's Home and Gennady by a bit of surprise. Let us see. Gennady, not as good of a run compared to the previous lap. We are on the final lap of this race. It is Big Weir out in front comfortably on 22-lap-old medium tires. He is looking to back up his word and finish this race and win this race in 1st place. Still watching this battle. We have yellow flag Sector 3. Looks like it is Shocky Like again. So Gennady still behind King's Home. Let us see. So it is DRS for Gennady. Will he make the move? Not able to do it. So we'll ride on board with Big Weir of the Force India team. Well done by him, finishing in 1st place. It is King Benny who is finishing in 2nd. Lucas Paul finishes in 3rd. CDMJW finishes 4th. James finishes in 5th. King's Home finishes in 6th place. Gennady finishes in 7th. H. Bosworth in 8th. Shug's Life finishes in 9th. It is Groenfeld who will be next. Something just changed. No, maybe not. Shug's Life just crossed the finish line to go finish in 9th. So Groenfeld will be the next across the line. He will be finishing in 10th place. So that's unfortunate for him. Started in 2nd place, finishing in 10th. Next across the line will be boosted. As yep, Prix has finished the race himself, and the final person that will be waiting to cross the finish line is Shock Be Like. But it is the Force India driver of Big Weir finishing in 1st place, backing up his words from Tuesday. Well done by you, sir. Well done, finishing in 1st place. It is King Benny who is deemed as the driver of the day by the game. So I'll go through the finishing order for this race. It is Big Weir who finishes in 1st. King Benny finishes in 2nd, also with the fastest lap. We have Lucas Paul in 3rd. James finishes in 4th. CDMJW finishes 5th. King's Home finishes in 6th. Janati in 7th. H. Bosworth finishes in 8th. Shug's Life finishes in 9th. Groenfeld finishes in 10th. Boosted in 11th. Flea finishes in 12th. And Shock Be Like finishes in 13th. The start of the DNFs would be Prior Thib in 14th, Baby in 15th, Zayak in 16th, Lyra Patch in 17th, and the Unsainted rounds out the field in 18th. So, I would like to thank everyone for tuning into this broadcast of Limitless Formula Racing by Limitless Gaming Esports. This upcoming Monday, the next Limitless Formula race will be the Monday Limitless 1 group, and their race will be taking place at Abu Dhabi. So that should be quite an interesting race that will be taking place around the, I believe it's called the Yas Marina circuit. So, for myself, Kem, I would like to thank you for tuning into this broadcast. Make sure that you like this video as well as subscribe to this channel if you have not as yet, because it would help us out quite a bit. For myself, I would like to say thank you for tuning into this broadcast, and take care.